Hi guys, this is Marla at Twinstrology, and this is the answers for the State of the Union game. For those of you who don't know what the State of the Union game is, it's just a fun little game I like to play. I usually announce it on Facebook, so if you don't follow me on Facebook, you might want to, so you know when I'm doing these. And I set out, usually 6 cards, and I ask you to choose which cards you want. And then I deliver a little message, and hopefully you'll get some kind of personal indication of where you're at in your union. State of the Union name is just a little play on words I like. In the United States, the State of the Union is the presidential address. So hopefully you'll get a nice message from whatever card you picked. If you didn't see the game prior and you would like to play, all you have to do is stop this video, go back to the picture that's at the beginning, that's in the title, and choose which cards you want, and then listen for your particular message. Okay, before I get started, I'm just going to quickly tell you what decks I'm using here. The first deck, the primary deck, is The Lover's Path to Row by Chris Walder. The Romance Angels Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. And then The Divine Feminine and Masculine Reunited by Christabel Jessica. Okay, so if you chose cards number 1, here is your message. The first card is Oppression. And this is really the Tower card, and it features the couple Dido and Aeneas. Dido was in love with Aeneas, and he left her. We see him leaving on the ship, and she is devastated. And so this card really talks about heartbreak. But what I see the message for you guys is you're not fully opened in your heart. There's still something holding you back. There's still something oppressing that energy. Maybe it's a past relationship where you felt really heartbroken, or something that happened in your childhood. But there's a piece of you that's afraid to love. These are walls that we put up ourselves in the tower. And we can't fully immerse ourselves in our union as long as these walls are still up. And this is really the greatest challenge for twins, and it stems mostly from the abandonment issue. But if we look at the other cards, the second card here is from Aries, the god of battle. And just to be clear, each of the choices 1 through 6 has 3 cards to give you a detailed message. So the second card, number 1, is Aries, god of battle. And this card talks about especially the divine masculine. They've had many lifetimes in the past of waging war, doing battle, actual physical battle. And the only way that they could get through that was by shutting down their heart. But of course now we've evolved enough, but they're still dealing with that fear of being open-hearted. So again, this card also relates to how can you let yourself be open and vulnerable and fully in your heart. The third card here is codependence. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. And the message that I got from Spirit is to tell you guys to really look at yourself and look at your partner or your twin flame or your soulmate. And look at the issues of codependency, because this codependency card is directly related to not being able to fully be heart-centered when we're not fully in our heart. That we're not able to love is what I want to say. And it becomes an aspect of our shadow self. What we tend to do is we seek that love from outside of ourselves through others. So you might have an issue with boundaries with people, okay, where you let people take advantage of you, or you try to be a people pleaser. You may be too dependent on your twin flame. You may be putting too much pressure on them and seeking validation for yourself through their love. And the twin dynamic is primarily energetic. So as long as you're seeking so much from them, you're actually pushing them away. And another way this can be playing out is you have a karmic soulmate in your life, and you're struggling with codependency on that karmic soulmate. And if you really open up your heart, the true answer to what you need to do regarding that soulmate is going to be there. You'll know. You have to be fully centered in your heart to get the best intuitive guidance. So if you are number one, a key point here is how can you be more open in your heart, and how can doing that help you break free of codependency issues, or how can that help your twin? But I hate to put too much emphasis here on the twin, because I feel like it's too easy then for a lot of you to say, oh, well, it's not me, it's my twin that has a problem. Because the truth is, if you really look deep, I mean, most of us are going to have some kind of block or fear or abandonment issue that we're still working on facing. Okay, so always look to yourself as the mirror before pointing the finger at your twin. If you chose cards number 2, the first one is desire. And this card is also the Chariot. It features the love story of Tristan and Isolde. And we know Tristan and Isolde loved each other very much. You can see that on the card. You can see that they're really drawn to each other. And this card, the Chariot, in some ways represents kind of the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, and trying to find a balance within those energies. Now, the Chariot is a card that shows forward movement. So there's movement happening for you, but there's also a little bit of a warning here, because it's easy to get lost in the moment, to get so excited about forward motion that you're not focused and you get pulled off course. Or your love is so strong that you get pulled off course because you don't have the focus, or you're focusing on the wrong thing. So the message is to stay balanced through the upcoming shifts. The card from, well, let's go do this one. The card from the Romance Angels is calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Well, that goes with this one, because with the Chariot or the Desire card here, and part of staying balanced is focusing on the positive and not the negative. And I've said this before, of course, if you're purging, it's okay to feel those emotions and purge them out. But if you're constantly focusing on the negative, if you're bringing people down around you, then that is going to pull you off course, and it's going to stall your Chariot. It's going to stall your union. So know that your energy is affecting the, I don't want to say outcome, but it can affect the timing of things, right? Because you want to be ready. You want to be focused. The card from the Divine Feminine Masculine deck is Separation. I feel this card is another warning for those of you that in order to find the balance to fuel your Chariot in the right direction, it's about letting go of negative beliefs. So there may be some triggering coming up. And you see here she's on the phone, she's crying, and we see Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And we know that social media it triggers twin flames a lot, because often there's no communication. You go on someone's Facebook page and you see a bunch of things that you don't want to see, that upsets you. Perhaps there was someone else. And what I want to say to you about that is it's an illusion. There really is no separation. But Spirit is warning you that that is yet another way that you can get pulled off course. It's almost like I want to bring in the cards from before this and tell you, not to be seeking outside of yourself. And this message, I've had it before, I've said it before, but it's so clear right now. If you really want to help your twin, if you really want to get into union, you need to love yourself. Don't focus so much love on them. I mean, of course you're going to love them, but what I mean is focus that love back on yourself and love them through you rather than seeking your validation through them. It's 11:11 on the timer as I said that. So that's a big sign. When you love yourself and you put yourself first, that's going to give you the balance that you need to keep driving those horses forward and on the right path, and allow this forward momentum to move you where you need to go. If you chose cards number 3, the first one is transformation. This is the Death card. And the couple on here is Persephone and Pluto. And Persephone went through a transformation. She was actually the daughter of Demeter. She was a maiden. She was out picking flowers one day, and Pluto came and kidnapped her and dragged her into the underworld. And from being, a goddess and a maiden to being in the underworld, she had to go through a complete transformation. It also represents her transformation from maidenhood to womanhood, and she took what could have been a very negative situation and she made the best of it. But this is a time for you that chose card number 3 to let you know that you are transforming something in your life right now. There's something old that needs to be transmuted, so go easy on yourself. The second card from the Romance Angels here is make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. The message I'm getting from this card is don't back down. Okay, whenever we're going through a transformation, it's not an easy time. Follow the guidance though. I mean, sometimes we have to do some things that are pretty hard. Like we might have to let people go, for example, in our life. Friends or family that aren't serving us anymore. And that can be really challenging. At least it feels challenging in the moment, but when you surrender to it, there's always something better that's gonna come into your life when you let something go. So it's having the courage to trust that and to continue to follow your path. And then we have the inner child card. So what I'm getting is that the part that's dying away has to do with your inner child. And you can see the man and the woman are arguing with each other. They've got their backs turned to each other, but look at their inner child. Their inner children are reaching out to each other. The inner child wants love and wants connection, and it's the ego that is blocking it. So what part of your ego are you needing to let go of that needs to be transformed? Or what kind of inner child healing are you being asked to do right now? The inner child often has to do with abandonment. And that's why the man and the woman here are putting their ego walls up, because they're fearing abandonment. Their inner child is fearing abandonment. Yet when we make our inner child loved and secured, when we let them know that we honor them and that we're going to take care of them, when we become the parent of our inner child is willing to open up. So let those old wounds go. Let them be transformed. And this is going to make your transition with your twin a lot easier. If you choose cards number 4, the first card is love. Isis and Osiris are the lovers on here. And of course, Isis and Osiris, the original twin flames. And Isis never gave up searching for her beloved, and she resurrected him from the dead, which is very similar to the energy right now where we have the divine feminine resurrecting the divine masculine as if from the dead. Of course, this card is talking about the love connection between the two of you and how the union energies between the two of you are becoming much more balanced. And they feel like there's something shifting at a certain level. I'll say like you're going up a level is how I'll say it. The second card here is religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and your spiritual path. So, very true. Has twin flames, your love life is affected. It's affected by your spiritual path. And you have to walk that spiritual path before you can experience full union. I mean, even if you're together with your twin, if you haven't gone through the spiritual path, you're not necessarily going to be in full union. Okay? That means understanding that there's no separation between the two of you and letting go of a lot of the 3D energy. The card from the Divine Feminine and Masculine deck is Thoth, God of Wisdom. And his message is that you are one of the 144,000 and that you're here on a mission. And your mission is to spread wisdom and truth. This card particularly talks about the emerald tablets, but again, I've talked about this before. We're going back to a lot of the ancient wisdom. There's a lot of truths in those ancient texts. And it's time to get back to those teachings. And if you are one of the 144, you've had lives teaching those texts and understanding those texts. And that is why you're here. So while these cards speak a lot about love and, of course, union, I mean, the Lovers is a card of union, one of a couple. But I think more so it talks about your spiritual path. And it's time now for you to start stepping into mission. And it's not all about just a romantic love story, but it's about spreading truth and healing and raising the vibration. for some of you as well, when this card comes up, the Lover's card, it has to do with having to make a choice, often between two people. So maybe you're in a karmic situation, and it's asking you to look at these things and perhaps time to make a decision. You know, again, you have a mission and a purpose that's calling you, and it's time to step into that now. If you chose cards number 5, this is the card Awakening. This is Cupid and Psyche. And I've talked a lot about this story. The main thing I want to say about these lovers here and what their message is that great love is worth taking the risk. It's worth, that's not the right way I want to say it. It's worth going through the initiation process, right? Psyche almost lost Cupid. He basically ran from her, much like a twin flame union. And in order to get him back, she had to go through an initiation process, just like most twin flames nowadays. One of them, I'm not going to say runs, but one of them has to go away. And the reason they go away is to force the other one to go through their spiritual initiation. So likely spiritual initiation is something that's influencing you now. This is also a card that has to do with truth, clarity, creativity. So also, what kind of truth are you needing to see in your life at this time? From the Divine Feminine and Masculine deck, we have Ganesh, God of Obstruction. So this card is letting you know that you're facing those obstacles, just like Psyche did. She sought Venus's help, who is Cupid's mother, to help her get back to him. And instead, Venus said, you have to go through these 3 challenges. She didn't like Psyche. She wanted Psyche to fail. So she made the challenges basically impossible. And yet everyone was willing to help Psyche, help her accomplish her goals. So here, this card, Ganesh, is saying the obstacles are there to help you grow, to help you find your truth, to help you get clarity, and to help rise you, to help elevate you, to help you ascend. This card represents the Sun card, right? And that is your truth, your identity, who you are, how you create your life. So there's a purpose for every obstacle and every challenge, just like there was for Psyche. And Psyche was greatly rewarded at the end. She got Cupid back, and she was made a goddess as well. She was given immortality. The card from the Romance Angels here is finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So I feel like for most of you, the obstacle that you're facing, one of the biggest obstacles, it has to do with your finances or your career. So maybe you need to think about making your finances and career a priority now, instead of trying to make full union with your twin flame the priority. I'm not saying that you can't have both at the same time, but perhaps what I'm getting is that there's a lesson here for you that it's like, get this into place, and then you'll see shifts in the other thing. Like they're influencing each other. They go hand in hand. So don't forget to work on your finances and your career. if you chose cards number 6. This is wisdom. This is the High Priestess card, and this card features Scheherazade, let me say that again. And she used her intuition. Okay, the king's wife, prior to Scheherazade, had cheated on him, and he had her beheaded. He didn't trust women anymore. So he said he was going to take a new wife every day, and at the end of the day have her beheaded. Well, it came to be Scheherazade's turn, and she used her intuition, and she decided to tell the king that she would read him a story, and she made it like such an exciting story that he wanted to hear the ending. So he let her live another day, and every day she would not finish the story until after 1,001 nights. Some of you may have heard of that story. He was in love with her, and he let her live, and they lived happily ever after, so to speak. So this is saying that there's some inner wisdom to get in touch with. Like I said, this is the High Priestess card, and I'm feeling that the energy of these cards are telling you that you are getting into your feminine power right now. Whether you're a man or a woman, you're getting into your intuition and your creativity, and you're opening up the energy of the void from which all creation comes. So you're not rushing around giving to everybody. You're ready to receive. You're ready to receive whatever you've been trying to create for a long time. It's very important for you that chose number 6 to trust your intuition right now and know that you're right on. The second card is energy. You can see there's a woman giving Reiki to a man, and we see the green energy here. She's opening up his heart. Again, this is the divine feminine energy. She's channeling the energy of the divine, and she's healing him. That is what the divine feminine does. She's very healing. And she also helps other people open their heart. She shows love, but not in a way that creates codependency or lacks boundaries, but in a way in which she honors and nurtures herself as well. The third card here is you deserve love. You are lovable. And I feel that's a message for both of you. You know, if you're here carrying the divine feminine wisdom, you know that you deserve love. And you're ready now to receive that love. And if you're the divine masculine, the high priestess and the divine feminine energies are letting you know that you deserve love, and do not be afraid to embrace the feminine, whether it's your own inner feminine energy or whether it's actually embracing your physical twin flame. But know that they are there to love you, and they are there to assist your healing. And like I said, if this is the divine feminine in her power, I feel, knowing what she wants and just allowing it all to come through. Whoops. Sorry, I hit my camera. Okay, those are the messages. I hope that they resonated with you. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for all the support you've given Twinstrology over the last 3 years. And I look forward to sharing brand new beginnings in 2018 with all of you. I love you guys.